Hello, and welcome back to the Xbox with Juice podcast. I'm your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, Rain. What's happening, Rain?
Not much. How's it going?
Going all right. A little hot. We've had thunderstorms even in the smoldering heat, but, you know, I could be doing worse, I guess. Just weird weather.
It's not hot up here for once in Sacramento, so I'm grateful for that.
Usually our weather mirrors. Usually whatever you tell me, it's like, oh, it's 96 today. Today over here it's like 97. So it's usually around the same. But yeah, it's good you got a little break from it because, yeah, it's been fucking really weird and fucked up down here. It's been a little bit cooler this week than last week, but still, yeah, there's thunderstorms in the middle of the day, even with the heat.
Yeah, that's good that the earthquakes finally stopped, though. I haven't heard a peep about it.
Shit, don't even remind me of that. I literally totally forgotten about that, and God damn it, Reen. I'm telling you, one of these days we're going to be recording and you're just going to hear shit in the background. Falling, breaking.
Right? We might feel it up here. Who knows?
Yeah. I haven't watched that movie, San Andreas. I'm sure it's all fake, but who knows? Who knows?
Maybe I haven't either.
I don't watch any movies with The Rock. It's not even me hating on The Rock. I've literally not seen... I've seen like one movie. I've watched... Get Smart, the one with Steve Carell, that comedy. That's like the only movie I've seen where he's in. Aside from that, I've never seen, like, I guess I kind of saw some of the Fast and Furious ones, but I've never sat down through the whole thing. I haven't watched Walking Tall, The Rundown, none of that shit. Ballers, I don't watch any of that shit.
I used to watch Ballers.
Well, I mean, I don't understand that one. I don't know. I know you're more of a sports fan than me. I was just like, I don't know. I never got it.
Yeah,
it's like Entourage, but with sports or something.
Yeah, that's why I watched it, because it was about football. He was an agent or whatever. It was at the beginning, but I stopped watching it. But yeah, I haven't really watched a Rock movie either. Now that I think about it.
I forget that you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah.
So weird. Every Raiders fan I've ever met is like been in jail, been stabbed, or has fucking tattoos on their neck. Go Raiders, fool.
We're not all like that, damn.
Well, I know you know them as well. I know Sacramento's not that different, but it's just weird.
So hardworking people, man.
Yeah, you can say that. That's a nice way of saying it.
They're so good people. For real. There's some families, man.
I assume some are good people. I've heard of that before.
Yeah. Just don't go to the black hole, that's all. They get rowdy.
I love that that's the name for the stadium and everyone just accepts it. Nobody even accepts it. Nobody even thinks of it as a negative connotation. It's just like, yeah, well, that's what it is.
Oh, no, it's that there's this section where all these fans get really rowdy, and it's fun if you're not with kids, you know.
You've been there? You've been to the stadium?
Oh, yeah. I used to have season tickets until I had a kid, so.
God damn. Enough of our daily shenanigans, lives, sports, and all the other shit. We're here to talk about fights. There's a card this weekend. We're gonna review some stuff, and there's a lot of news this week. So let's just get straight into it. Let's get in with our review of UFC Newark. So first up, we only covered a few fights from that one. One of the prelims was Antonina Shevchenko, big Shevchenko sister, versus Lucy Pudilova. That actually ended up getting a fight of the night, even though it was only like not even 1.5 rounds. But it was a hell of a fight. A lot of grappling, but Pudilova did land some nasty elbows. And then Shevchenko finished it with a rear naked choke. Almost finished in the first round with an armbar, but she got that rear naked choke in nasty in the second round. I found this so funny because I was listening back to last week's episode, and you were talking about how Lucy should take her to the floor. She may have been listening to you because she took that advice to heart, it seemed like.
Dude, she kept on doing it over and over, and Antonina was just landing those like knees to the body, and she was just still trying to get her down. And I just don't understand why. I mean, if she wasn't successful in it the first round, I mean, why continue to try to do that? You
Was
know?
it was it just me, or did it seem like she was actually having some decent success in the clinch? And I don't even mean just the elbows, like maneuvering in the clinch. Yeah, Antonina was better, but it didn't seem like she was getting manhandled, or I should say, woman handled. It didn't seem like she was just getting outclassed there. Am I wrong?
No, I was watching it earlier, and I'm like, damn, dude, Pudaloo was fucking big and strong. Like, why even give her a chance? Against the cage. Like, she was almost doing her a favor.
True. That's actually a pretty astute point there. It's funny because we think of Antonina Shevchenko, Valentina Shevchenko, the Shevchenko sisters as just these brutal Muay Thai artists, and they are, especially Valentina. But yeah, even with their prowess in Muay Thai and stand-up game, like they're not invincible. There's things you can do against them, and we're going to talk about in a second of the main event with what Covington was able to do to Lawler. Like just because you're not quote unquote the better striker doesn't mean you can't strike with him. And obviously that elbow, yeah, it was off the clinch, but Jesus, if she could have landed more like that, she could have had some real success.
Dude, she rocked her a little too. I think Antonita said that too. Like, yeah, she was hurt. And
Yeah.
damn, those elbows were vicious. Like, damn, I'm like, I wanted to see more of that. But unfortunately, no. She kept on trying to take her down. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Can't take anything away from Lucy. She tried, and yeah, she was doing good, but yeah, she just took it a little bit too far with the takedown. She didn't realize what was right in front of her. But now that I believe this was Antonina's first submission win. I mean, is she? Do you think she's more well-rounded? You think she's been working on stuff, or you think she just capitalized on Lucy, with a dumb game plan?
I don't know. I want to see more of that. So, I mean, I think it was a mistake that Pudalova made. She got caught in that submission. It was crazy. I was trying to go back and watch how that actually transitioned into her like grabbing her neck like that. I'm like, dude, that was fucking smooth.
It was a really shitty single leg. She was trying to go for kind of like a high crotch, and she kind of
Mm-hmm.
lifted her, and it was one of those things like as soon as her foot went off the ground, she turned around and just wrapped her legs around her. It was one of those things like if we're gonna, I think Antonina did it like if you're gonna slam me or if I'm going down, you're gonna go down with me. So she just wrapped herself around her, and then as soon as she got her, she sunk in the choke. So it
Insane,
wasn't,
man.
yeah, it wasn't like she countered her. I mean, it was a counter, but it wasn't like she sprawled on her and took her back or anything like that. Like she went for a shitty takedown she really shouldn't have gone for, and then she just kind of spun around and took her back and took her neck.
Yeah, that was insane. But just watching like that Roxy fight and her, I know Roxy that's her bread and butter, but damn, it's like night and day, you know?
Yeah, well, you see it with certain fights. Guys find problems in their games and then they stitch them up real nice. Like Max Holloway with Connor. Connor won that fight basically by grappling, and ever since that, I mean, that was basically one of the last fights that Holloway lost before the Poirier rematch. But nobody's really taken Holloway down since then. Like he upped his game. He knew like I don't want to get taken down again, and he really worked on his defense. So it was probably one of those things like I don't want to get out grappled again. Let me really work on my jiu-jitsu.
That's good that she did though, if she did do that. Because yeah, like why even work on her striking? She already has that, so. But yeah, it would be cool to see more of that from her. And she's actually now ranked too, so I wonder who they will match her up against next. And it's just weird that she's in the same weight class as her sister.
Yeah, this reminds me of like, and obviously they're friends, not actual brothers. But I remember when Gilbert Melendez first came in the UFC, a lot of people thought that he was going to be champion, and Nate Diaz was doing pretty good at the time too. They're like, oh man, Nate Diaz is going to be like the number one contender, but he's never going to fight his friend. So what are they going to do? And Nate said basically like, I'm all right with being the champ and Gilbert taking out everybody else, or I'm okay with Gilbert being the champ and me taking everyone else out. So I gotta assume that's what they're going for, because if they're actually down to fight, that might be one of the craziest things I've seen in fighting history.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Who
That'd be,
knows?
that'd be some
They're
crazy shit. Sisters fighting it out. Although I hear that they're not actual sisters, which would make sense because they don't look anything alike. But I'm not gonna speculate. I don't even want. If that's not the case, if they're not sisters, then I don't even want to know why they're faking it. It's like the white stripes, but for even less known reasons.
What the hell? See, I always wonder that. Like,
They
are they
look.
really?
I think you and I have more of a case of being siblings, Reen, than they do. I think we look more alike than they do.
Yeah, dude, I always wonder, like, cause yeah, their face, none of that. Their skin tone, none of that. It
Then
don't
again,
go.
I know someone, I'm saying this, but I know someone who is a twin. I know a woman who is a twin. She's, the woman I know is light skinned, straight hair, and kind of on the chubbier side. Her sister, fucking a twig, dark, like really dark, and like curly ass hair, like scroiny hair. And they're twins.
Damn, dude. So they look like either mom or dad.
Yeah, I think it's one of those deals. One looks like the mom, one looks like the dad, but obviously they could not look any. You wouldn't even think they're cousins, let alone sisters, let alone twins. But yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy how they comes out like that.
Moving on, main card was the co-main was Clay Guida versus Jim Miller, and we thought it'd be a war, and I guess it was for as long as it lasted, about 50 some odd seconds. They were feeling each other out for I don't know 20, 30 seconds or so, and then Miller threw this kind of crazy head kick, and he got countered by Guida, got hurt, and as he was backing up, he caught Guida with a nice counter, and Guida went for kind of like a panic takedown. Miller got the guillotine and put him to sleep. So there was a lot of controversy with Herb Dean. I guess earlier in the card there was another bad stoppage. I wasn't able to see that fight, but I guess he didn't catch somebody getting slept, and then Pudilova also got slept. So it seemed like that was a thing that night. But what did you think of the stoppage, Reen? Did you know that Clay Guida was out when he fell?
No, because it looked like he still had like a fist going.
Yeah, it's always hard with the fist, you know. Yeah, yeah, because usually you just think their hands go, all had their five fingers spread out. And it's like I'm done. But
Yeah, it looked weird, but dude, I was just sad that it didn't go longer. I mean, I guess it's good that nobody really got hurt, but I wanted to see like a war, man.
yeah, and obviously they were gonna keep going like that. Like if Miller didn't get that submission, it may have lasted 2 more minutes. It may have lasted 2 more rounds. But yeah, you could tell that they were just gonna swing. They were just gonna keep.
Yeah, it's like finally they got matched up, put on this fight, and then it just ended in what, a minute?
You think they'll do a rematch?
I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, he's
What's the point, right? But also,
yeah,
why not? It's like, what's the point? But also, why not?
yeah. But Miller is saying how he's going to try to go on this run again because he's been looking good. But he's on like a 3-fight winning streak. Would it be 3 fights now? I think it would be 3 fights.
For sure, two, but yeah, maybe three. I'm having a hard time remembering.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to try to go on this run, but man, lightweight's too stacked. I mean, good luck to you if you can, but
yeah, if this was heavyweight, light heavyweight, you may have a shot, but no, this is lightweight, son. There's no mercy here. But good on him, man. What a sick finish. It's crazy, man. Jim Miller, obviously he's a well-rounded fighter, but we all think of him as a submission guy. But like, I think he may be one of the most exciting submission guys out there. Like Charles Oliveira's there. I guess at times Fabricio Verdum's there, but like Jim Miller from his first UFC fight to now, it's like he's gonna submit people, but it's gonna be fun while it gets there. He's not just gonna go for the takedown and take your neck. Like he's gonna make it fun for as long as it lasts. And he's a finisher, man. He doesn't look like much. You see the guy, like he looks like a guy you'd pick on at the bar, but man, he'll fuck you up.
right?
even now, Lyme disease and all.
Yeah, 35 years old. Yeah.
See, and I think I want to say, like, I was going to say he's like 38, 39, 35. I know it's not young, but for given how long he's fighting, it is kind of young.
Well, that's a hard 35, right?
True. Yeah.
Yeah, over 30 some fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're from like the outskirts of New Jersey. They're not from this. Well, any part of New Jersey is hard. Well, speaking of that, I should give you props because you said last week that part of the reason the card was taken place so early is because New Jersey is a little wild. And then was it Bilal Muhammad who had that tweet that said like, why is it so early? Like, oh, because it's not safe.
Yeah. I'm like, see, I tagged you in it. He said the same thing, man.
Yeah, that was Yeah, it was a weird thing. I only saw the co-main and the main when I got home from work because that was all that allowed time for. It was just what I said. I'm like, I'll catch the main event most likely, maybe the co-main, but yeah, that was all I was able to watch. Goddamn noon schedule. Anyway, so main event. Yeah, Colby Covington just beat the ever loving shit out of Robbie Lawler. Um, Robbie also did nothing, and I don't know. I saw shit about fight being fixed, obviously because people hate Colby so much, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's so many things to talk about with this fight. Unfortunately, like we always do the thing, we don't want to give a guy who's as cringy and as much of an asshole as Colby attention, but I mean, he deserves a lot of credit, and also he did do a really good job. Like I was watching it, I'm like, man, he's doing so well. Like this is so impressive. Like I was saying that out loud as I was watching it, but I also just I kind of felt icky as I was doing it.
Dude, all that fucking he did with cardio, I guess that really works. Huh? Damn it, man. I need to work on that shit.
Jesus.
It just reminded me of what he said, like in the bedroom, cardio in the bedroom. I'm like, God damn it, Kobe.
I don't know who said it. Someone was like, he's because he'd been doing so many cringy interviews lately, and it's like, oh, he's running on fumes. And I replied like, yeah, if I fucked as much as Colby, I'd be running on fumes too. Like, but see, like we're still laughing at him, you know. It's not just a thing of like. So okay, we're gonna get into the fight, but since we're kind of talking about it, so what did you think? What did you honestly think of the whole Matt Hughes talk?
I mean, that's why even go there?
That's a good
So
point.
stupid. Like, why? And like,
But were you mad?
I wasn't mad. It's just why you're fucking stupid. And I
Just
guess that's
yeah.
Dan Lambert's friend, his manager. So I mean, just disrespectful. But
Matt Hughes is Dan Lambert's friend.
yeah, they're friends. They're close, I
That
guess.
that would make sense. Well, he was kind of doing it as a dig to Robbie, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
your boy got fucked up. Which, see, to me, I was one of those things that I was like, Matt Hughes is an asshole. I have no respect for that guy. So it was hard for me to feel bad. I was definitely like, yeah, that was unnecessary, especially that he was going at Robbie even after he beat him. But then to go on further with that, like, did you see this thing with Misha Tate, the Misha Tate interview?
I read about it, I heard about it, but I didn't get to listen to the podcast.
Neither did I. I didn't actually hear the audio, but I did read the excerpts. And I'd never want to say that Colby crossed the line because that's what he's looking for. But I can't help to kind of think that when I saw that, because I was like, dude, I don't know. I've also seen people like, I don't know, I guess there's people out there that don't really like Misha, or they like her, but only for, physical reasons and shit. But it's like, dude, like I've always respected Misha. That's why I would even get mad at Ronda back in the day because I was always basically been a fan. I used to like both of them, but I was like, oh yeah, she's just like this pretty girl who likes to show her ass and whatever. It's like, dude, she's really smart. She's always been smart and she's always had her head on straight. She's never gone in trouble. She's doing good things right now with one and the pot, like she's being a mom and shit. Like there's no drama with her. I never thought, but I don't know. I guess there's things about her that rub people the wrong way, but I don't understand. I've actually come to the conclusion that I really think the only reason Colby's doing all this really fucked up, cringy shit is just so he doesn't do interviews. He probably hates it. And it's like the only way they're not gonna book me for interviews is if I keep saying fucked up shit.
See, I think it's opposite. Like he wants to do this. He's like part of that WWE. Like he's doing this shtick for a reason, because yeah, he is kind of a boring fighter, right?
You know what? I did not get that during Saturday. I was really entertained because I respect Robbie, and anytime somebody beats a fighter I like, I give him respect. And he didn't just take him down when it looks like he could have. Like those last 3 rounds were like basically all striking.
Yeah, I give you that, but just the general consensus is what he's kind of boring. He's just there,
Yeah.
you
From
know.
especially with how he started, he was basically just a wrestler at first, and it's like, yeah, no one's gonna pay attention to this guy, and then that's when he kind of started
Yeah,
that whole thing.
yeah. So he has to hype himself up somehow. he has to sell the next fight somehow. Because I don't think Kamaru's going to do that.
So you think he really does like the attention though, or you think it's just kind of like, well, I know he feels he needs to do it, but do you think he actually wants the spotlight in him, or maybe he's just scared of guys like Masvidal, and there's so many killers there that can be up for a title shot. Like, I need to keep doing this to keep my name out there.
Yeah, keep my name out there, pretty much. It's just WWE right now.
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, he's not really like that. When the cameras are off, when he's out and about, he's not really like that. He's a really nice dude. Like, he's a nice guy. But when he's rolling with his, that hat, that dumbass hat, and his belt, like, that's his shtick. He's acting. He's doing it for a reason.
Did you see that video of him talking to that young kid? It was like, I don't know if it was at the weigh-ins or at like the open workout. Somebody posted it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I saw part of it. I'm like,
yeah. So what? That got you mad?
It didn't get me mad, but I'm just like, why can't you be like this all the time?
And he said it. He was like, this doesn't sell.
Yeah, it's like, if you're genuine, then maybe more people will like you. But I get what he's doing. Like, it's WWE, and that's what I think pisses people off. But at the same time, there's people that are now watching him that would have never like tuned in before, especially with like the Trump supporters and the Trump boys being there, and then him getting a phone call from the president. Like, I heard that his Twitter or whatever social media accounts he's had like doubled and tripled.
Wow, really?
Over this past weekend.
Yeah. That actually makes it. That's not even people that follow the sport, huh? Or like very casual people.
Yeah, so he's selling himself, man. And I mean, this is like free publicity for the UFC too. So, they didn't really pay for any of that. That was just him just being this cringy like Trump supporter.
But the ratings weren't even that good. I mean, I don't know if this is a thing where like, because of the Matt Hughes comment and the Misha Tate interview and some of this other shit after the fight, that people are gonna pay more attention to him. But as far as the ratings go, I think it was like 650,000 viewers, which isn't bad, but it's kind of low for a UFC, especially on a Well, it wasn't a Saturday night. Maybe the timing has something to do with it too. But
I heard that it peaked at the main event though. Like, it was 900,000.
It always peaks at the main event. Yeah, it was like 4 million, and then like I said, maybe because of the time, it would, if had it been at 6 o'clock, maybe it would have been better. I don't know, but I given what a Legend Lawler is, and if Colby's shtick is working, you think it would have gotten more people. At least I think so.
I think that was pretty good numbers for an afternoon show. 900 at the main event.
Yeah, because the main event, I think around here, it was like. Yeah, because it ended at 3, so it was like 2:30. So West Coast people, I'm sure a lot of West Coast people didn't see it live. The East Coast, they probably did better over there, but
yeah. So, but it just sucks, man. I mean, I really wanted Robbie to win. It just sucked, and I heard that he may have like hurt his hand. That's why he wasn't throwing it as much. So, but who knows at this point? I mean, the fight is over. He's not gonna come up with any excuses. He's not that kind of guy.
That's the thing, and I love that about him. But to me, honestly, I actually thought that he may have hurt his knee or his back. Like, I thought it was a serious injury, because maybe not his back, because he was rolling very well. He still had his head movement down, even though sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But it's one thing to not throw your hands, but like, he wasn't throwing either of them. So if he broke one hand, I would understand. If he broke both hands, that'd be kind of weird. And then that's why I thought, like, maybe it's a knee injury, because maybe that's the reason he didn't want to like lunge forward with punches. Is maybe there was something going on. I kept thinking, like, he's got to be hurt. Like, this isn't like him, because like he kind of did it like in the Dos Anjos fight. He's done this in fights before, but it's usually after he kind of put up a fight. Like, maybe a round or two was pretty exciting, then all of a sudden he kind of just. Because Robbie does have this tendency to like get bored. He's just kind of like, yeah, I don't like this anymore. But he doesn't quit. He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just not gonna fight. Yeah. Like, I don't care. Which is one of the weirdest. I've never seen a fighter do that. But I don't understand with Colby, because I don't say what you want about the guy. I don't think he was being boring at all. Like he was so active. Like I don't know how many strikes he threw, but it was a lot, whether they landed or not. Like you got to respect a guy like that. And I would think that's the kind of thing that he would want. You have a guy that keeps throwing at you. Like Robbie has pretty good counters. He wants to engage in a brawl. And Colby didn't back down. He even hit him a few times pretty hard, and he still kept coming. But he just didn't have that juice. He just didn't have the little pop to get him. It was weird.
Mm-mm. Yeah, he was tired. Just, God damn it. I hate talking so positive about Colby. It's so hard.
It was so hard for me on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon. I'm sorry, but I was so impressed and like I don't know. So tell me what you think of this, Shane. So we were talking earlier about the whole trash talk and all that, but this is what I've always said. Like this is why I start to think like I don't know, especially with the way he's going. If Colby eventually gets knocked out, be it by Usman, Woodley, whoever else might be coming up soon, Masvidal, whoever. I mean, he's gonna get laughed off the face of the earth. Like it's to the point where I don't know if he can come back. But the thing is, like, had he got knocked out that badly, like now, after this fight, had he got knocked out that bad by Masvidal, yeah, I'd probably laugh. Yeah, it'd probably be cool. But I wouldn't be laughing as hard as I did with Askren. I still hate Askren more than I do Colby. And the thing is because I can't. I know this is gonna sound ignorant of me, and I'm not an athlete, I'm not a wrestler, and all that. But here's the thing of why I respect Colby, at least for his fighting ability, is that he can fucking fight, man. Say what you want about him. Yeah, he's a good wrestler, and he can do that all day. But he can fight too. He's a well-rounded guy, and even when it didn't really suit him to throw, he kept doing it. I don't know if it was to prove a point to himself, to others, to put on a show. I don't know why he did it, but I was so impressed. I'm like, damn, you're showing it all out here. And that's the difference between him and a guy of like with Askren, and that's the reason I don't like a dude like Askren, because he's never gonna try. I mean, I know the whole if it ain't broke, don't fix the thing, but you also got knocked out in 5 seconds, so maybe you should reconsider things.
Right.
But that's just me. I don't know.
No, I totally get it. Like, God damn, it's so hard for me. He did really impress me. I mean, put all that bullshit aside. Yeah, him still caring about the shit talking. Like, he was amazing. I have to give it up to him. He was amazing. So I'm really intrigued with this Kamaru fight. Like, I wonder what's going to happen with this. They're both cardio machines.
Did you see that little thing between them at the ESPN desk?
Yes.
You know, it was one of the funniest things I ever heard in my life.
Oh my God.
You know what had me cracking up about that whole thing? I don't know if you caught it. Was because Colby just kept talking over him. Like, nobody cares about you, bro. Who gives a fuck? And all that shit. But at one point he says, I'm like, wait, he's like, hey man, I got a call from the president. I'm with Trump. Yeah. And he's like, you're standing over there with that fucking Power Ranger belt on. I'm like, motherfucker, he's a champion.
I know, right?
You're fighting for his belt. Why are you talking shit about the belt? I mean, we can talk shit about it. We're never gonna fight for a UFC belt, but you are.
Yeah, so crazy. Oh, the thing that I don't want to see is this fight possibly crossing like political lines. I don't
about that. About that.
What?
I mean, the thing with Usman is like I don't know much about. A lot of fighters tend to be kind of more conservative in their views, and Usman is obviously an immigrant, but also, it's kind of this false misconception that immigrants are all kind of like liberals and they're all like that. Especially a country like Nigeria. I don't know much about their customs, but I don't know. I don't know about his political leanings. I really don't even really care. But yeah, given all the shit that Colby's saying, it's like, especially that Kamaru's black, he's an immigrant, it already kind of points him as, I'm sorry to say it, but as quote unquote the other, coming from that crowd. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why I'm like, I don't know about that, especially if what you're saying is true and a bunch of random Trump supporters, that's like a pay-per-view and Trump supporters start wanting to watch. And then I think just hearing that enough is like, because Kamaru's going to talk about it, like, man, I'm an immigrant, this guy's talking shit about all immigrants, fuck this guy. I think that's all it's going to take, really. I mean, I want shit to sell. I'm one of those people like, I hope every pay-per-view does good. I'm not one of those people that wants pay-per-views to bomb just because I don't like it. But yeah, I think this is doomed to bring in some questionable people.
Oh God.
I mean, to keep it real, yeah, I do think that. I mean, maybe I'm putting too much on it. I really don't think it'll be a big number, and obviously this is just entertainment. It's, I don't know. I guess it depends on where they have it. Um,
I was just thinking that like they should not have it in the States. Yeah,
really?
probably not a good
Well,
idea.
what would it be?
I could
Like
just
Canada?
imagine. That's even too close, I think.
Mexico?
Dude, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just I don't want
Let's
to
go with
say it.
China. Let's just go with China.
Yeah, because I don't want to say it just due to the recent events and things happening, but it could just get crazy. It got crazy with Connor and Khabib.
Yeah, yeah, but you got to keep in mind who those people are, Reen, and I do mean those people, drunk ass Irish people, and let's be fair, a lot of Russians, even if they weren't like Russian immigrants, I don't know how many people are coming in. Russian people, even in the States, tend to be pretty rough around the edges, man, whether they're drunk or not. So you got hard ass Russian people and drunk ass Irish people. And I'm sorry if that sounds mean or stereotypical or whatever, but you guys seen those videos. There was not a smart person in that bunch that you could consider like articulate and, rational and shit. Those were just a bunch of savages.
Yeah. Who knows, man? Ugh. Yeah, just do it in a different country. Go to China.
I, if we're gonna do it, I think go to Canada. But then that loses some of the spice, Because me, we've talked about it before on the show. We became gigantic fans of Usman after the Woodley fight, and especially after the Joe Rogan thing.
Yeah.
But I really hope Joe doesn't have him on, and I have a feeling that he might. Especially that he had Bernie Sanders on a few days ago. Some of his crowd's gonna
Oh
be like,
God.
"Hey, you had that fucking socialist on. You better get fucking another right winger." Like.
Yeah. It's so crazy, man. I don't. That's why I don't get into politics or anything. I try to keep everything all separate. Like fighting is fighting, and now it's like getting into that gray area. Oh my
Well, see, but
gosh.
that's what I mean. Like talking about Joe Rogan and all that. Like, yeah, okay, that's his podcast. We can say that that's different, but he's a UFC comment. Like, this is his job. And then the podcast has been really good for fighters too because like Kevin Lee. Like I've always liked Kevin Lee, but it's funny that a lot of people didn't like him until he came on Joe Rogan's podcast. Like, oh, he's actually smart, and he's. I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah, he's a hood dude. Yeah, he's gonna talk shit. He's gonna be an asshole. But I always knew he was a smart guy. I'm like, you know why? Because he went to college and he like wanted to get out of that and he wants to make it better for him and his family. And my dude, he's from Detroit. There's no way he's not gonna be hard. Yeah, of course he's gonna talk shit. I mean, there's no way he can't. But that doesn't mean that he's not a good guy. That doesn't mean he's not smart. That doesn't mean that he's not a good fighter. That just means that's his upbringing.
Right.
But it's yeah, people see that, and then that's what would piss me off so much about a guy like Colby being on there because he's gonna keep going with the shtick. Then it's like, dude, the whole thing of the Joe Rogan podcast, like, you want to be honest and genuine, and like, oh, this is the real me, this is what I'm about. But I don't think he's gonna pull that mask off.
No, I don't think so. No, it's working for him, and then even if he does get knocked out, maybe this is something that he can take into the WWE because he was looking at that. Remember
Really?
when he wasn't? Yeah, he wasn't. He was trying to get that Woodley fight, and then he's just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the UFC. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try out for wrestling."
I don't think I heard that. I remember he got really pissed after the Dos Anjos fight, but yeah, I didn't know he actually said that. That's
yeah.
Well, he did come out to the Kurt Angle song. That's one thing. The one last thing we got to give him credit for. That was awesome. Dude, you loved it.
I did. I watched it again earlier. It was amazing. Like that song is pretty badass as it is, and then for him to use it, and then the crowd sing "You suck." Like I'm like, holy shit! Like he really did it. Like that's fucking cool, man. So I mean, I when I first heard about it, I was like, "That's fucking genius! Holy shit, that's fucking genius!" And to like watch it, yeah, I'm like, dude. And I guess he's gonna continue to use it.
That's a good move. Yeah. Vince let you have it, man. You keep it going.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's like when I'm not gonna lie, when CM Punk came out for his debut, yeah, I knew he was gonna get his ass kicked. But when he came out to Cult of Personality, and keep in mind, I was not watching WWE when CM Punk was around, but I knew his song. When he came on to Cult of Personality, I'm like, this is the shit. Because it like brought me back to my childhood, And that's exactly what Covington did too.
Yeah. So good job, Colby.
Yeah, yeah, we can at least give props on that because everything else has been fucking shit, man.
Yeah.
But that was UFC Newark. Before we get into the preview, for Uruguay or Montevideo, I should say. Demetrius Johnson and Eddie Alvarez fought last weekend and won. Eddie Alvarez had replaced the guy he lost to, Nastyukhin, and he came from behind. Had a who knows? I mean, could it be submission of the year, comeback of the year? It could be both of those, right?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be there.
And then that's the other part too, that he wasn't even supposed to be. So it's a comeback from a loss and from an actual loss, and comeback from him about to get his ass kicked again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because dude, those leg kicks were so hard. Like he went down, I thought it was over. Like I thought he was gonna like get mounted and ground and pound, and that was it because it looked like that was it for him. Just the look on his face when he got kicked again, and then like he turned it around and submitted him. So I was like, fuck, good for him. He wasn't supposed to be there, and he finished him. He didn't take him the decision. No, like he finished the dude.
Yep, vintage Eddie Alvarez. It's always nice. And then your boy Demetrius Johnson, he won a decision, and I didn't actually see the fight, but I did see some highlights, and man, it looked masterful. He looked as good as ever against a guy who was probably twice his size.
Dude, that first round kind of like scared me. Like I was like, fuck, dude, he got his back. Like he cannot get out of this. Like I wonder if he's gonna get subbed, rear naked choke, or something. Cause that dude is big. Like I'm like, fuck, dude. DJ is so small, even with fucking Asians, like Japanese people. He's so tiny. Like, is this even fair? Can we put some more muscle on him or something? God damn.
No, DJ honestly is pretty yoked. He's just a small guy. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like he reminds me kind of Matt Serra when he was fighting, because he was always a short guy, and it's like, why doesn't he just go down? But it's like, dude, look at him. He's massive. Matt Serra was a big guy, man. He had a big back, big ass shoulders. He was a big dude. Yeah, that too. And obviously he loved to eat and shit, and he got kind of fat after he stopped fighting. But it's like, no, dude, that's a big boy. He's just built weirdly. DJ's kind of one of those people, and then he's weird because, like, yeah, he's muscular, but he's got abs, and he's also fast as hell. He's just tiny.
Yeah, cardio machine. He's another one, just cardio machine. So, yeah, he's going to the finals, right? This is considered the finals.
Yeah, I believe so. One other thing with DJ too, I gotta say, honestly, it's gonna sound kind of mean, but it gets me mad sometimes seeing DJ in one, not because he's not in the UFC or none of that, but obviously he's been having good fights. He had some problems in his first fight too when he guillotined that one guy, and it kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth because, like, dude, I want to say that DJ's having these good fights over there, and these guys are legit and they can compete with them. But they're also so much bigger, and it's like, all right, are you competing with them because you're so big, or are you actually good? Because at this point, we're not going to find out.
Oh, I know. I was bothered by that. I was thinking that earlier, too. I'm like, is this fair? He's so good. He's doing really well with these bigger dudes, and yeah.
But where's his competition? Where's someone that can actually compete with him and not just be like, oh, yeah, well, that was a giant guy. Of course he beat him. Or, of course, he hurt him or whatever.
Yeah, it just sucks that trade went down.
Yeah, and then one last thing. I wanted to give a shout out. Lion fight happened this weekend. It was an event in Vegas, and a girl I know that I've actually trained with. I use air quotes with trained because I'm not a fighter and I'm nowhere near this girl's level. But Magali Alvarez, she fought this weekend. She fought Andy Wynn, which I know you guys know, the Cajun. And if you guys haven't seen this, you can look it up on Twitter. She broke Homegirl's arm with a kick. She did not do the right thing of blocking this kick. She kind of had her arm out as the kick was coming, and she just broke it like right underneath the elbow. And it was pretty gruesome. But if you guys want to see some fucked up Muay Thai, check that shit out. But yeah, Magali Alvarez, she used to train here in North Hollywood at the gym that I would go. And she relocated to San Diego, but yeah, she seems to have a good team down there. And if If you guys like Muay Thai, keep your eye out for her.
Crazy. That looks so brutal. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, and you know, Reen, I've been telling you about this girl for months too. I kept on telling you, like, man, this girl's pretty legit. And then,
Yeah, they
yeah,
finally got to fight because, Andy had that eye injury she had to pull out, and then finally got this fight going, and then she has another
now the
injury.
arm, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully she takes her time, but especially when you're not at the top of the heap, it's kind of hard to make money in this. So hopefully she does all right, but hopefully she recovers well for sure. But yeah, it does it for that. Let's get into the preview for UFC Montevideo. First up, Tisha Torres is gonna fight Marina Rodriguez. I'm trying to think of Tisha Torres' last fight. Was it Ian Jacek?
No, Wiley Zane, remember?
Oh shit! Damn, that's Jesus. I'm sorry. Yeah, Wiley. Oh shit, that was a month.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
thank you
going
for that.
for yeah, I was going for Tisha, and yeah, that was rough, man.
And Marina Rodriguez. I mean, I know. So Tisha's lost two in a row against Joanna and Wiley. Obviously, no shame there. The two of the most accomplished. Well, maybe not accomplished with Wiley, but two of the most dangerous and elite girls in that division. She's fighting Marina Rodriguez, who's a gigantic girl for the division, but I mean, this is a giant step up for Rodriguez. I don't know. I don't know. I always feel weird about these kind of fights. Well, what do you think about the matchup in general, Rain? Either who do you think will win? How do you think it goes? And just the matchup as far as do you think this is appropriate for either of them or both of them?
I just feel like this is like I hate using the word gatekeeper. That's what it feels like again because with Wiley, that's what it seemed like. Like nobody really knew her. She came in with what 2 or 3 fights with the UFC, and they were like unknowns. She finally got Tisha, and now she's getting this title shot, right? So I just feel like here's another one.
I
Try
think
to
with
probably make a
Wiley,
name off of her.
maybe I'm mistaken. I'm not remembering it right, but I feel with Wiley that it was kind of like 50-50. Like there was some people who really believed in Wiley and thought she would win, and she's the next big thing, and there was others who thought that it was too much and that Tisha was gonna win.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm remembering things wrong, but I didn't really get that feeling that it was like a gatekeeper type match in that one. Now in retrospect, it does look like that, but I didn't think that at the time. This one, I do see your point. I think it could be like that, but it's one of those things. If Tisha wins, I think she kind of stays in the same spot. This doesn't really advance her career in any which way, and it should because Marina's a good fighter. But I don't think the rankings or anything like that are going to reflect it.
No, nothing's gonna change with Tisha. I mean, she's only got beat by the top fighters, anyways. So, like Andrade, Joanna, Wiley,
Rose.
Rose. Yeah, that's the other one. She's 10-4, so she's only the top fighter. So nothing will change with her. But yeah, if Marina wins, and there she is, she's gonna be ranked.
Yeah.
And that's a big girl, man. Marina's
So,
11-0.
yeah.
Crazy. She's 2-0 the
UFC. Just beat Jag a few months ago, Jessica Aguilar. I know she ain't who she used to be, but she beat the. Oh yeah, she bloodied her. Didn't she like break her nose? And she beat the living shit out of her. Now that I'm getting images of that fight. What do you think? If you had to take your picks now.
I have my pick as Tisha, but I'm not super confident.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Tisha too. I think she knows where she's at right now, and I think she knows she's got to teach this girl a lesson. The girl's big, obviously, but I don't think it's something she's had issues with physical fighters, but I think this girl's still a little too green. I think she can be able to outsmart her. She's still a pretty good striker. I never thought they've given her enough credit for that, so I think she can do some work on the feet. Next up, Volkan Ozdemir and Ilir Latifi. This was originally booked on the I want to say the Gustafson Smith fight.
I think you're right.
And Latifi pulled out last second with a back injury, riding horses and shit. And then this was actually supposed to. I don't know if he was riding horses. I'm just talking about that one picture. But this was actually supposed to take place last week in Newark, and then they moved it because I guess they just needed a little bit more meat on this card. So nothing's really changed in the month since it's passed. No one's fought. So everything has basically stayed the same. Although there is the travel issue, and I think it affects both of them the same because I believe they both live in Europe. But obviously we have Latifi coming off an injury. I'm just gonna, I don't know. I guess I'll go with Demir.
That's what I have down too, because I'm not really sure. I mean, that Volkan's another one. Like, he's only like really lost to the top fighters, and that Reyes fight was questionable, right?
Yeah.
He actually won that fight, so.
Yeah, a lot of people. I kind of don't think he did, but I'm not mad if you think he did. Yeah, it's definitely a toss up, but I don't know. I think the main reason I'm picking Ozdemir is that I think Latifi's still chinny. He's been knocked out a few times, and the Ryan Bader one is the one that sticks out of my mind. It was so horrifying. Now, that doesn't mean he has a glass jaw because Ryan Bader knocked him out with a disgusting knee to the face. But I don't know. After suffering a knockout like that, I kind of feel like your chin's not what it once was. Yeah. So, and Ozdemir, even if he's not the most technically brilliant striker, he hits pretty fucking hard. So, I think that might be enough.
Gotcha. Yeah, Latifi's up there in age now too. He's not that same fighter.
Yeah. Co-main event: Vicente Luque and Mike Perry. I mean, this was just made. Jesus, I can see like Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard like salivating when they were making this fight. But god damn it, all the respect in the world to Vicente Luque for even taking it, because not many people would take. I mean, if you're a top 5 guy, yeah, you take a fight against Mike Perry because that's an easy win. But if you're Luque, who's been beating the fuck out of everybody, finishing everybody, and you got everything to lose, and you take on a guy like Mike Perry, that might be one of the most riskiest things you can do.
I don't get this fight, but I mean, it should be fun.
Hella fun.
Yeah. They're both the same age. Perry just looks older, and I don't know if it's because, rough life or what. But
that's the Florida son. Florida living. He did go to jail too, remember that. He spent some time locked up.
Yeah, rough life there. So, but man, I don't know, man. I'm still gonna go with Vicente.
But can he finish him? I mean, obviously it's not out of the possibility that Luque could win a decision, but he's not. He's finished everybody in his last 7-8 fights. All his UFC fights have been finishes. So, I mean, is this where the finish train stops, or because Perry's got a fucking dome on him, man?
I know.
Fucking iron.
He's so hard to put away.
I mean, I'm trying to think who's the heaviest hitter that Perry's fought. Oliveira.
That was messy, man. I expected better.
Yeah, but I mean, it looked like Oliveira hits fucking hard.
Yeah, he did take a lot.
Ponzinibbio.
Yeah.
I mean, Ponzinibbio just kind of outboxed him, but still, like, that's a hard hitter.
I wanted to see him fight Luque, but I don't know what's going on with him.
Ponzinibbio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about it, one of the last ones, that this would have been a perfect fight given that Uruguay is not that far from Argentina, and obviously Luque is Brazilian but also speaks Spanish. Like, this would have been the fight. This would have been the main event for sure.
Where the fuck is he? Like, what's going on with that dude?
Don't know. Again, we can always suspect USADA. Obviously, injuries, who knows? When people stay quiet for a while, like, you never know.
Crazy.
They live in that age now. So you got Luque.
Yeah.
I'll go with Luque too, and I think he'll actually win the decision. I don't think he'll actually put him away. I think that train stops here. I think he might be the only guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks out Usman, Covington, Masvidal, and I mean Masvidal would kind of surprise me, but I can see him knocking out Masvidal before I can see him knocking out Perry. Like that's how much I believe in that guy's chin, for better or worse. It like seems one of those guys. Perry's obviously not the brightest bulb in the drawer, and it seems like with those not so smart guys, like they don't have a lot to protect up there. So for some reason they just, I don't know, they don't go down as easily or something.
That's just funny.
Oh please, I hope I never meet Mike Perry. Anyway, main event time: Valentina Shevchenko versus Liz Carmouche, Part 2. So they met years back. I believe this was Liz Carmouche's 4th or 5th professional fight. They met in some regional promotion in like Nebraska, somewhere in the Midwest, and Carmouche submitted her. So that was a long time ago. Obviously, they've grown so much. In Carmouche's case, she fought Ronda, Marlis Kunin. I mean, who hasn't the girl fought around her weight class, you know? And then Shevchenko's one of the best women out there that's not named Amanda Nunes. So I don't know. I mean, everyone's talking about this fight just seems like a wash. And I really want to give Carmouche a chance, but I don't know. That was such a long time ago. I don't think Valentina's gonna have any fear or anything like that to give Carmouche any kind of advantage.
I don't know, man. Crazy. Yeah, I hate it. I love them both, actually. It's hard, man.
You actually think this is a hard one to pick?
Yeah, it's hard for me, man. But it's hard to take Valentina down, too. And even if you did take her down, like, she has a ground game.
Yeah, this is one of those fights that I can kind of see of like Carmouche just doing a lot of wall install. Maybe on purpose, maybe not, but it's one of those things that just like, yeah, she can get her hands around her, but can she take her down? And if she can't, she seems like she'll probably just be content to just keep her posted against the fence type thing.
Yeah. It would be fun if Liz did capture that belt, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, she's come so far in this game to finally get it. That'd definitely be dope. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it'll happen. I think I think Shevchenko gets the. I'm kind of feeling a submission. Maybe just, I don't know. You know how them sisters are. They want to like one up one another, do everything together type shit. But I mean, remember, Valentina submitted Pena off of her back with a beautiful armbar, and quite honestly, Carmouche kind of reminds me of Pena in a way. I think she's a little bit more refined. I think she's a little bit smarter, but she is kind of a similar fighter.
Yeah, crazy. I like Liz, especially since she grew up in Okinawa. She's a military brat.
Well, I know she was a Marine, but I didn't know she was born into it too. I thought she just joined the Marines.
Yeah, I guess she was a military brat and she went to a school there.
Oh shit, that's cool. Yeah. I may have known about that at one point and it just got lost, but yeah, that does sound familiar. That is crazy. Yeah, I get it. But you're still going Shevchenko?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Same here. That does it for Montevideo, but Invicta 36 is happening. By the time you hear this, it'll be Friday night, so it's happening tonight. Main event between Pam Sorensen and Caitlin Young, which if you're a hardcore women's MMA fan, I mean, that's the fight. Caitlin Young can win a championship like 10 years after everyone thought she was done. So that's something to get excited about. It had been years since she'd even competed, and she started competing a year or two ago, and now she's here. Some pretty good fights, but some of the girls missed weight. In case you guys didn't catch it, Janaisa Morandin weighed in like 4 pounds overweight, and Chantel Coates missed by like a pound. But that always happens with Invicta. I'm just upset because those are probably two of my favorite fighters there. But Janaisa Morandin's fighting Emily Ducote. You know who she is, right, Rain? Ducote from Bellator?
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to Invicta and she's going down to 115. So Ducote was going down to 115 and she made weight and Janaisa didn't. So yeah, that's really unfortunate, especially because Janaisa is so goddamn exciting. But yeah, it happens. Especially, I don't know, once you get to that 3, 4, 5 pound territory, you're pushing it, man. You're pushing it. But yeah, it should be some good fights. Lindsay Van Zant's fighting, Victoria Leonardo. As I said, Chantel Coates. There's some pretty good fights on here. So yeah, you guys should check it out. Fight Pass for any of you that still have it. But that does that. Let's get into our tweet of the week real quick. So this is a little bit it is women's MMA related. It goes out to the WMMA yearbook at the WMMA yearbook, and it's kind of a two-parter. The initial one was, he tweeted, as Kayla is doing her best Ronda impersonation, who is the one-dimensional striker that's going to piece her up and usher her one step closer to quitting MMA in 8 fights' time? I replied with Kaufman. And I guess this is the true tweet of the week because this is the one that stuck out, but I needed to add some context. He put, not that she's a one-dimensional striker, but That would be the best possible outcome here. Kayla would have a complete breakdown. Sarah would walk away from the sport after a badass career, having more than earned a rare $1 million payday, and we could all rejoice. And if you guys haven't picked up by now, we're not the biggest Kayla Harrison fans on here, so yeah, that's why we got it. And I even tagged Reen later on, and we just started talking mad shit.
Oh, Kayla. I really want Kaufman to take this. I mean,
Yeah, for the OGs, I mean, there's that
yeah,
aspect to it for people like us, but then Kayla also just
just
be
yeah,
better.
yeah, right. Just that's be nice. Yeah, be better.
I mean, you're great as a fighter. I don't know what you can do better there, but in other aspects,
Yeah, let your boyfriend talk.
oh, she has some talk, but I don't know if everything he says is genuinely his. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's controlled. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That seems to be the word, folks. But yeah, let's actually we're gonna talk about that in just a second here. So let's just get on with it. Let's get straight into our headlines. Speaking of controlling spouses, Cyborg Green, there's too much to talk about here,
Oh my
but
God.
there's no way to talk Cyborg without talking about the one who shall not be mentioned, Ray Elby. But there's a lot of shit that's happened this week. Weirdly enough, we were talking last week about Cyborg of what could happen next after her Felicia Spencer fight, and then it turns out right after we posted the episode that Dana had released her. Can't say cut her because it's not like she lost. They just didn't re-sign her. But there's been so much shit with her lately. We still don't know where she's gonna go. There's been no word on that yet. Still a lot of speculation, but she started making the rounds on Twitter yesterday because of social media in general, I should say, because a weird Instagram story got out, and it's kind of a weird segue into all this, Reen. But I'll just let you take it from there. You can talk about that or just your feelings in general, because I'm just kind of saying what happened, but you're the
Yeah.
one that I think has a lot of insight and better insight here.
Man, I wasn't happy when that video came out of Chris's conversation with Dana White. I didn't think it was right.
That's another thing, just for context for anyone that didn't see that. Yeah, there was a video of she quote unquote confronted him, and then the subtitles made it seem like basically that he was lying, right? When he say that
Yeah,
can't believe everything you see and that I'm just lying type shit.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't too happy with that, but it was good to see people really getting behind her, you know, and actually taking her side for once, because it was always an attack on Chris. You know, the way she looks, or, the things she's been doing, or, the steroid allegations, things like that, right? It's always been some negativity around her. So it was good to see that people are rallying behind her and, going after Dana. And they really wanted to see this fight, part two, Amanda versus Chris. Come to find out, that video was edited. I'm like, fuck. Okay. Dana White has a sit down with Laura Sanko, says, fuck it, we're out of the Chris Cyborg business. I'm going to release her. You know, it's just too much. I get it from a business standpoint. Yeah, there has been a lot. There has been so much that's been done back and forth. I mean, even just amongst, their relationship, it's been rocky. And that's what I said, like, the last episode we had. I never really wanted her to stay that long. It was great seeing her finally in a UFC um, fight kit. I don't think I've ever said this before, but like, I got emotional when I finally saw her in a UFC kit. Like, she's in the UFC. Finally, we're here. Like, all this hard work. It's great to see her in this platform. But it's been so fucking rocky. And then this whole video issue comes out. And then here's this other thing that comes out. That KFC IG story.
And yeah, to put a little maybe pun intended, I don't know, to put a little color into that. Yeah, the from the screenshot, it was it was her eating KFC, and it said for all my African friends,
Yeah.
which obviously sets off some red flags. I was like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing, Chris? But
Yeah.
she explained it that, and we do know this. She was training in South Africa with Don Madge, and she explained it something that her friends would tease her about eating KFC because I guess she really likes it, and while she's training, she couldn't eat it. I
Hmm.
mean, it sounds reasonable, but I get why it's not easy to buy.
Yeah. I mean, just overall, from a logical standpoint, coming from like a business standpoint, I'm like, that doesn't look good.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
should never happen, whether it's innocent or not.
Yeah, it should have never been plastered on social media. It was already bad as it is with her production team. We've seen all the bullshit that's come out from, her social media accounts. And then this, like a couple days later, a few days later, it's like, come on, man. At what point are you going to stop allowing these people to control your social media accounts and fucking up your brand? Because that's what she was talking about. Dana White and UFC, they're not helping me with my brand, they're tarnishing my brand. Well, hello, you have some responsibility in that as well. This is your business, this is your brand. Why are you allowing these people to do that to you?
She made a really good point with that too. I remember when she first said that, I was like, some of the stuff that Cyborg said, I was just like, yeah, just being defensive, and not that she's wrong and defending herself from being called a man and whatever else Dana was saying and the steroid stuff. Even though she did do it, it's like, come on, John Jones has done plenty of steroids and Dana definitely forgave him type thing, But yeah, she had a really good point with the brand thing, but also if you're that concerned about it, yeah, exactly. Why are you letting people fuck it up? It's one thing with the UFC, that's your employer, quote unquote employer. They can kind of do some shit, get away with some shit, but these are your own people that you should be keeping an eye out for.
So,
And they portray a really weird. That's the other thing. They portray a really weird image of Cyborg online because from what I've seen and heard of Cyborg, she's like a nice church lady. She's like a devoted Christian and stuff, and she loves training. I know those things about her for a fact, but then you see, if you were to not know her and you see her IG, you're like, the fuck is this like 25-year-old who's like trying too hard to like get likes and all these like fake interactions. Like you get a really, really weird glimpse, a really weird idea if you look into her social media. I
yeah.
mean, am I wrong? Is that like
No, you're not. That's what bothers me the most. It's like she is so sweet. She is such a caring person. Like if you meet her, like she's great. She's always treated me well. Even Ray, like they were always cool. But it's just I see what's going on. I've been seeing it, and it's just fuck. I'm glad that other people are seeing it and they are mentioning his name. That yeah, it's probably Ray doing it. You know.
but what does it matter if nothing changes?
I know that's what bothers me, man. I'm like, come on. At what point are you going to stop this? That you have responsibility now. You had to apologize to Dana White. You were asking for an apology from him, and because of what happened with your production team, now you had to do the apologizing, and they would let you go. So what's going to happen with bargaining and whatnot with your new contract with whoever you land with? Like you don't have the UFC, the biggest MMA promotion in the world, putting an offer out so you can counter. You're fucking up your business. Like, come on. If this was a setup to get out of the UFC, cool. Okay, you did it. Great. But
That's short term stuff.
yeah, it's like, but doesn't look great for your legacy. It was already questionable as it is. It turned around finally. People got to see you on the highest platform. They got to know you better. This bullshit video comes out, and this stupid ass IG story comes out. I can't. It hurts me to see it as a longtime fan and just meeting her and helping her out with certain things. Like it fucking bothers me, man.
What it Can you repeat what did you say yesterday? Because I DM'd you that snapshot of the whole chicken thing. What were you doing when you received it?
I what the part about me training with my cyborg shirt?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that I'm embarrassed to even wear it to the gym because what came out.
Well, obviously you were wearing it
Yeah,
earlier in the day, right? Was before you knew, and you were probably
yeah,
probably like, "Fuck yeah, my girl's out of the UFC. She's probably gonna get paid." You
yeah,
know what I mean? I get it. I
yeah.
get it.
And then now it's like I don't even know if I can wear that shirt anymore. Like it's a badass shirt. I don't even think they sell that. It's from F4 Studios. Like it was given to me.
That's
So
the one with Cristo on it, right? The
yeah,
the savior,
yeah,
the Brazilian statue, right?
yeah, yep. So I wore that to training, UFC gym in Rockland. Yep. And I come home and I'm like, fuck! I take it off. It was sweaty anyways, but I'm like, God damn it, man.
Oh my god, I think I'm gonna have to make a clip of that right now. You just
I love
yeah,
her.
yeah,
I love
I know.
her,
I
man.
mean, that's why I just kind of let you breathe it out because it's like, to me, my only take on this is, well, I'm gonna ask you a question about something else right now too. But my only take was it's just like, all right, I know you've told me, and I've heard from many other credible people I know are like, yeah, Ray LB's the one doing a lot of this weird, shady shit, and it's not really her on her social media. Like a lot of people know that, but I was just like, yeah, I mean, but how long can you give her the benefit of the doubt? Because it's like, Reen, if I was saying some fucked up, ignorant, hateful shit, whatever it may be, things that you may not agree with, and you just let me say it, yeah, it's our show, and yeah, we do what we want. But it's like if you don't give me some pushback, and people start listening to it, and it's like, oh, Reen, you talk to that guy saying all this fucked up shit. That means that you believe it too. You know, and it's like at what point are you gonna like? I mean, can you really blame the people for saying that? You know?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah, and that was my only question of it is like, come on, like that was my concern is like, yeah, exactly what you said is like you got to keep an eye on it. At the end of the day, you're the one that's still responsible, even if you're not the one actually doing it. But one question that I did want to ask was we talked about all the scandals and her leaving the UFC and all that, and I know we've talked about it before, but given what just happened, hopefully this all subsides. Hopefully it doesn't affect her, but now that she's officially gone, I mean, I know you've kind of had different ideas, but if you had to say in it right now, if you were her manager, if you actually had the power, where would you have her go as a promotion for her next
Probably,
fight?
probably Bellator.
Just want to see her fight Julia Budd
Well, that as well, but it's just that they have that relationship with Ryzen, and
and Coker, obviously.
yeah, she's worked with him before, so if it wasn't for him, like they would have never had one of the biggest women's MMA fight. Like that's the first one ever that was a main event, right? Her against Gina Carano.
Yeah.
So um, that would be the best choice, I believe, because like I said, the relationship with Ryzen, um, Japan loves Chris Cyborg. I mean, she's cornered Gabby before. She's went over there. I mean, she's very popular there. So maybe they can do like a cross promotion with her. And then also with going with Bellator, they have the kickboxing, right? And
Hmm.
then like I said before, like she could probably box too because Scott is all about that. He'll allow his fighters to do that. So she always wanted to be an active fighter.
Yeah.
With this, she'll get what she wants. With the UFC, she waited 9 months, a year to fight. Like, yeah, she fought, but it always took forever to get these contracts to go through. It took forever to see her fight. It seemed like she was fighting like every New Year's or something.
Yeah.
She did that for like 2 years, right? So yeah, I think her best bet is with Bellator.
The other thing too with I know this isn't as related, but if you're talking about the whole other combat sports thing, Bellator, I mean, I know they're on Paramount, but their home is kind of the zone now. And Scott Coker hasn't been, he let, what's his name, MVP box. He's only had like one or two boxing matches. If they're on the zone, I wouldn't be surprised if he lets her, talk to Eddie Hearn or whatever, Matchroom Boxing, and get a fight in there. Especially, or I mean, that would make the most sense given that they're under the same umbrella. But she's also homegirls with Clarissa Shields. She's on Showtime, PBC, that whole deal. I mean, she has connections. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a good option. I think I'm of the opinion that she should go to PFL. I mean, if she wants to get paid, and then maybe just me personally, I just want to see. I want to see Kayla, most likely get beaten down and win $1 million in the process. Like, and then you know what? Even if I may have my problems with her, but even if Kayla wins, like if she actually beats Cyborg, not only will she get $1 million, like she'll actually become a star. So I think that's kind of a win-win. And feasibly, she could continue doing the tournament next year, the year after, however long she wants to fight, and probably make $2 million, $3 million. So I think PFL is a good. And then obviously they have, well, it'd be 155, so she wouldn't have to cut as much weight.
Yeah.
So especially she's getting up there in age, I think like why bother? I mean, you've basically fought everybody. Mm-hmm. Kayla Harrison, isn't a name. She's an up and comer, but if you beat her, I mean, who else is she gonna? She's basically gonna beat everyone that she's gonna fight too. The only one you could say that might give her a fight is Kaufman, as we talked about earlier. But other than that, if she beats her, there's no one else that's gonna step up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if the PFL will want that though, because that's their golden girl, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure they want to make money too. I mean, they're on ESPN; they can get eyeballs, and ESPN will promote them, especially for something like that. Cyborg versus Harrison, especially even though I know it's not like related, but this is kind of like. This is as close as Cyborg versus Ronda as we're ever gonna get.
Yeah, I wonder because of that relationship with Dana, and I wonder if ESPN would even entertain that.
That's a possibility too.
Yeah, I mean the zone. I guess there's some issues with Golden Boy and Canelo, right? So maybe
there's all the issues with Canelo is like it's mostly sanctioning bodies and shit. He's not taking on the right fights, but he's just at the point he's the biggest star, so he just wants to make money. He doesn't give a shit about losing belts, and he just wants to make the most money, and that's it.
So yeah, there's like a rift there, I think. So maybe it'll be good for Chris to step in and be a star on the zone. But who knows, man? Who knows what's gonna happen? I thought she had the same management company as Conor McGregor, but I don't know what's going on with them.
I saw that. I believe Israel Adesanya signed. We didn't have that in the news, but I think I did read that he's signed with Paradigm, and I believe Paradigm is the one that Conor and Tony Ferguson are with.
Yeah. So. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Cyborg stuff. Well, speaking of ESPN and all that stuff, the zone. This isn't actually really fight related, but I wanted to get your take on it, especially because of the ESPN thing. So everyone knows streaming is the future. I think it's fair to say the streaming is now because cable's dying more and more by the day, satellite's dying more and more by the day. Everyone's cord cutting. So streaming is the future, and everyone has Netflix. If you're listening to this podcast, you most likely have ESPN Plus because I assume you're a diehard fan. And it was just announced, I believe yesterday, that there is going to be a bundle starting November 12th of ESPN Plus, Hulu, and the new Disney Plus app. And I, for one, think this is genius. It's kind of funny. When I first heard of this, I told my sister who, she streams a bunch of shit too. She's younger than me, so that's all she does. And I told her about this, and she's like, "What the fuck? It's like a monopoly." And I told her, I'm like, "It's $12.99 a month." She's like, "Damn, that's pretty good. Never mind." She was like so upset that they have all this power, but she's like, "That's a pretty good deal." And my takeaway is like, it's pretty genius because it is a good value, but also it's like you're getting all your demographics. Especially for like families, this is brilliant. It's you got ESPN Plus for the dad, you got Hulu and stuff for the mom to watch comedies and movies and whatever, and then you got Disney Plus for the kids. Like this is like if you have a family, this is it. And even if you don't, I can see single guys and single girls getting this too, because maybe ESPN isn't even really your thing, but you can catch something here and there. This is where you're gonna need to get that UFC pay per view every once in a while. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about it, Rain?
Dang, man, that's a good mashup.
Like you, okay. I mean, obviously you like sports. Obviously, we're talking about fights, but you have a kid too. Like, what
Hmm.
obviously you're in more in the family range. So, what do you think about it?
Dude, that's awesome. I like it.
And then
I,
remember, Disney now has the Marvel Universe, Star
yep,
Wars, which I
yep,
know you're also a fan of Star Wars, and
yep.
um, I know they're acquiring shit by the day.
Yeah,
So,
the
and then the TV
catalog.
shows, yeah, the TV shows they have like ABC, so they have Modern Family. This
Hmm.
is I don't watch that shit, but I know it's a pretty big show. And then whatever old shows that they want to put on there, like, yeah,
That's insane. I wonder if that's gonna kill Netflix.
I think that's hard. I think Netflix is like McDonald's now. Not that it can never go out of business, but it's just like I think people have Netflix just to say. Honestly, I have it. I don't watch that shit. It's very rare. Like my sister's the one that watches them. I basically keep it because of her. But yeah, every once in a while, I'm like, all right, I'm in the mood for Netflix, but I don't use it as much as most people do. I just have it there just to have it, and I know I can't be alone in that.
Yeah, we barely use it.
Yeah,
Sometimes we'll watch like old movies or something, but my kid's all about YouTube. YouTube Kids, like that's what
yeah,
he
that's
watches.
what all the kids do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I already have ESPN Plus,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, you
I might.
pay what, $8 more, and you
Yeah,
you get all the Marvel stuff. You get Star Wars and Hulu, and yeah, I mean, I think that's a good deal.
hell yeah, I get to watch like Real Housewives shit again on Hulu, the old stuff. Sorry. Yeah, I watched some of that.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, we got our own shit on the show sometimes too, but
Yeah.
do you think that? I guess the big question is if talking about UFC fighting and all this, like, do you think it can get a crossover audience? Do you think someone will get this bundle, a family person, have say what whoever, random mom, random dad in USA, they get this and they start scoping through ESPN Plus, and all of a sudden they start seeing the library of fights and all these highlights and this and that, and they might start watching UFC. Like, do you think that's a possibility too?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I believe so. I mean, because it has PFL too, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes, yeah. So there's like two different forms of combat sports
and,
that they can
and,
watch.
and Top Rank. Remember, there's still the
Yeah.
they Lomachenko's on there,
Hmm.
Crawford.
Yep. So it has that. So I mean, I think it'll definitely help put more eyes on combat sports. I just hope that they make improvements to the platform so we won't have all these issues and glitches. Because I'm sure Disney would run smoothly, right? It has to. Hulu's already established. So,
Yeah, true, true.
so
Yeah,
just
hopefully this means better things for everybody. Yeah.
right. So hopefully they'll make improvements on that. That's the only complaint that I have. Like sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it glitching? And I see it on Twitter too, like other people. It's glitching for them, but it's not glitching for me, so it's not consistent for some reason. But yeah, there's always issues though.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there was that bit of news. Another bit of news. It seems like Frankie Edgar is going down to bantamweight. Ali Abdelaziz said. I don't know if Frankie has said himself, but I think it's safe to assume that that's the case. I honestly I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't know either. I mean, it's been a long time coming, right? I guess his coach always wanted him to move down, so it's finally here. But who will he fight?
Faber, as we said last week. No,
It's crazy that name was thrown out. Rafael Assunção. But he's fighting somebody else right now, I think.
Sanhagen. Oh, next week. The Anaheim
Yeah,
card.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Shout
Yeah,
out.
that's right.
And we're for sure gonna cover that fight next week too. So just a little preview for next week. Um, yeah, I mean, there's no lack of contenders at bantamweight. I think one of the only people he probably wouldn't fight is Moraes because they're homies, But
Dominic Cruz.
if he ever comes back,
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that
yo,
too.
God damn it! I mean, yeah, that's one fight. Hell yeah, please make it, because I don't. I don't know. Like, even if it's for one fight, like if you could see only one fight, I want that may be the one. I don't need to see him. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be his fight. It's like, oh, Cejudo, because he's the Holly Holm of the men's division, as people say. But no, I think he's gonna have to somewhat work his way up. And yeah, come on, there's so many killers down there. You can't just give him to Cejudo right away.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, Dominic Cruz, I think that is the one. Because, like, yeah, they're both legends. They're both Hall of Famers, basically. They're both kind of similar in style and the fight that people have always talked about. So yeah, I think that's the one to make.
Yeah,
Plus, Dominic, I know he lost to Cody, and well, that's been his last fight, but it's been for fucking ever, man. A lot of people were talking about a rematch after that, but it's like, well, not now.
no, no. Yeah, Edgar and versus Cruz would be probably a mega fight.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be dope. Next bit of news: Jack Hermansson. Do you say Hermansson or Hermansson?
I say Hermansson. How do
Hermansson.
you?
Okay.
I'm bad with
Well,
last names though.
I don't know what the proper way is, but yeah, Hermansson. We'll go with that since you said it. Jack Hermansson wants to fight Jared Cannonier at the UFC Copenhagen main event. It's supposed to be happening in September. I guess they're lacking a main event, and he's the one that's been asking for this. It doesn't seem like the UFC's putting him up to it. There doesn't seem like there's been a word on Cannonier yet, but I would assume he'd want to take that fight. Man, I'm just saying this mostly to just give props to Hermansson. Like, balls on that guy, man. I mean, I understand he wants to stay active and get, have some money in his pocket and stuff, but that's a risky fight.
I know, right? It's going backwards, but I understand, because the guys at the top are tied up, and he wants to be an active fighter. So, but yeah, like you said, it's risky.
Yeah, but hey, there's guys like Max Holloway out there that you keep them busy, you keep on giving them challenges, and they rise to the occasion. Obviously, we didn't think he was able to do what he did against Jacare, even though I thought he might beat him. I didn't think he was going to beat him the way he did. That was amazing.
Right,
So,
right, and it was
obviously,
short notice.
yeah, obviously this guy's capable of some amazing things.
Right, it's short notice. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Mhm. Mhm.
It
Another
was
little,
impressive.
yeah, yeah. Another little bit of news was Dana saying that Zuffa Boxing is coming in October. He didn't say much. He said that he's setting up an office and that it sounds like some of the fights might take place at the UFC Apex because they're not done building it entirely yet. They haven't finished building it, I should say.
Yeah,
But I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
crazy.
I don't know. Is there any way he signs anyone big, or is it just gonna be like the Ultimate Fighter but for boxers or something?
I didn't know that they were going all in like this. Like they're building a separate wing for Zuffa Boxing.
I mean, you'd have to. I mean, I know Dana's kind of had, experience with boxing, but come on, you got to run the UFC. That's its own thing. You can't dip your toes in both.
But where are they getting all this money though? Like, what the fuck? They're
Endeavor.
building.
They're going public. Remember?
Well, that got pulled back, and I thought the UFC was just a small portion of their business.
Yeah, but they're gonna want to invest.
That's so crazy, man. See, and that's another thing that bothers me. It's like now Chris got let go. Here's another opportunity that could have been yours, but
True.
hey, what can you do?
Then who knows though too? I mean, they might just be interested in men because honestly, boxing ain't MMA. I know MMA is painted as the crazy, I don't know, right winger type sport because it's more barbaric and whatever, and boxing is seen as more classy. But when it comes to women, Boxing stuck in the fucking 1800s, man.
Yeah, well, Clarissa Shields talked about maybe fighting Amanda, right? That was thrown out there, so, and I guess Dana would possibly entertain it. He didn't exactly say no.
Jesus.
So if, yeah, I mean, Clarissa could be somebody that he signs. And then
Yeah.
Amanda, if she's ready to go, if she wants to venture in that, she has an opportunity there.
I don't mean this as any disrespect to Clarissa Shields, but let's just say if that's legit and that fight were to happen, I honestly kind of go for Amanda. I know it's a long shot. I know she'd be the underdog, and I wouldn't be like, oh, she's for sure gonna beat her. But yeah, I'd put money down on her. I think that'd be a good bet to take.
Mm-hmm.
That girl is a good boxer. Yeah, she's not the most technical, but she hits hard and she's precise,
Yeah.
and that goes a long way, especially in women's boxing.
Yeah, so that would be interesting. I think didn't he show interest in Anthony Joshua at one point too?
Yeah, that he was gonna pay him like $50 million or some shit, and all the UFC fighters fucking shit themselves. Yeah, but look at him now.
Yeah.
He lost. He lost to fucking. Yeah. No disrespect to Andy Ruiz, but yeah, he lost to Andy Ruiz. So.
Yeah, I wonder if Stipe would even, because he talked about fighting Anthony Joshua. Well, granted, that was back then, but I wonder if he would want to entertain going into that.
He was a Golden Gloves champion. People, I don't know if people remember that about Stipe. That was, he wrestled in school, but yeah, he was also a boxer.
Yeah.
And obviously, as we see in his MMA fights, he is a good boxer.
Right. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, man. I mean, October. They're gonna do this October.
Yeah, he didn't sound too committed to it, like, oh, for sure on this date, but yeah, said like October is supposed to be launching, whatever that means, that actual space or actual fights or just the announcement. I'm not sure, but that's the word.
I wonder if it's going to be on ESPN Plus or Fight Pass, or wonder what they're going to do with that.
He keeps saying there's all these big plans for Fight Pass, so I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of boxing, though, speaking of women's boxing, Heather Hardy is back, as is Amanda Serrano, and they're going to fight each other. They're fighting on September 13th on the undercard of Haney and Abdullayev. It's going to be in New York at the small Madison Square Garden arena. I think it's called the Hulu Theater. And I don't know how many boxing fans are going to tune in for this, especially for this fight in particular, but MMA fans know who these girls are. And especially with you, I mean, I know a good bit about Heather Hardy, but I know you know a good bit about Amanda Serrano as well.
Yeah. Crazy, man. We're off air talking about it. I thought they were homies. I thought they were cool.
And it's possible that they still are, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like there's not a lot of fights where we're like, oh, we're friends, but we're gonna fight on the women's side, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it should be it should be exciting. I've seen Heather Hardy box. I have not seen Serrano box yet. I've seen her do MMA. I've not seen her box.
This is going to be the main event, or no?
No, it's the undercard. I don't know if it's
the under.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the co-main or the one right under it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, we're MMA fans, so we're like, damn, this is gonna be good. But in boxing, they're just like, let's throw some women on there, especially both of them because they're from New York.
Oh my God, it's got to be on the main card, right? It has to.
Yeah, main card for sure, but not main and not co-main.
Not co-main. God damn it, man, that's crazy. They're both big names. It's so crazy.
To us.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Reen, boxing fans don't give a shit.
That's so crazy to me, man.
This place we gotta be. Remember, they still fight 2-minute rounds and 2 10-minute rounds.
Oh, that's so insane.
I know.
I mean,
preaching to the choir.
That means they're not going to get paid as much either, which is sad. Because Heather really.
Also, boxing just doesn't pay their women like that either. Boxing in general just doesn't pay. Popular misconception is that everyone's a millionaire if you're a boxer, but especially on the women's side, they're not making shit. I think Layla Ali made $1 million once in one of her fights, and that was it. That was like a ridiculous, like once in a lifetime thing style fight or something.
Damn, dude. Okay, so that's where I hope like Dana capitalizes on all of the mistakes that the current boxing promotions are doing.
Yeah, that'd be smart. I hope if anything, I think one of the biggest things, the most important things he could do, if he could just start pushing for women to fight actual rounds, 12 3-minute rounds or whatever they want, but this whole shortened round is such honestly misogynistic bullshit. There's no excuse for it. The only reason I make myself okay with it is that it's like, well, they're shorter rounds, so there tends to be more action, which is true, but that doesn't take away of why they're doing it, because there's no other reason other than this ridiculously outdated women aren't as tough or as built for combat as men type shit.
It really is ridiculous. I mean, the girls in MMA are, 3 rounds or 5 rounds.
Joanna, say what you want about her. Joanna Jędrzejczyk is one of the most well-conditioned athletes in the sport, man or woman. Jessica Andrade too.
Right.
Holly Holm. There's so many well-conditioned women out there. Cyborg. And there's dudes that are fucking featherweights that gas out after 8 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
say what you want about Dana, but I bet he will just turn a whole bunch of, yeah. He's going to turn it around, I bet. Because he's a businessman at the end of the day, right? He took a chance, and look what happened.
And then I wonder if he can help, and I don't know if this is still happening, but I remember years ago Invicta had said that they wanted to do Invicta grappling and Invicta boxing. I don't know what happened with that, but if this is a Apex thing, maybe and they are interested in that, maybe he'll host some Invicta boxing events there too, if they're actually going to do it now. Maybe they become partners or something.
Yeah.
But that does it for headlines. Let's talk about some matchups. First up, we got Holly Holm is returning. She's going to come back to Melbourne, which was where she knocked out Ronda Rousey. And she's going to fight another old foe, Raquel Pennington. There's a rematch from their 2015 fight, her UFC debut, happening in UFC 243.
It's fake news.
Because it's not for a title.
It's not a title fight. It's fake news.
They can just attach a title whenever they want, Reen.
That's true.
Nah, give the girl a break, Reen. I don't know if she could say she's trying to fight her way up, because I think we all know that boat has sailed, but I think this is a good fight for Pennington. I think she's earned it, but I don't know what it does for Holly. I give her props. She's not doing the whole I'm too big for that and I'm past that type shit.
I don't understand the rematch though.
Yeah, as far as like the actual matchup on paper, it's just not appetizing at all. But I understand it. Pennington did good. She beat Aldana. She's still one of the better contenders in the division. But this is, as you say, using her as a gatekeeper. This is for sure what they're doing this time. But yeah, if Holly wins, it really does nothing for her.
Where's Vieira? That's another girl. That's another fighter. It's like, where'd she go?
Yeah, I think she died. Nobody's said a word about her. I don't know. Maybe she retired. Maybe I don't know. But she's not in the scene right now.
Has it been like 2 years or something? How long has it been?
She beat Kanzagano on the same night that Cyborg beat Yana. So yeah, like a year and a half ago almost.
I don't get it, man. She's still ranked. She's number 2 still. Like,
you got to remember too that is she really number 2 still?
Yeah, she's still on the roster at number 2. Like, where is she? She needs to show up.
You got to remember that she also, I'm blanking out here. She also trains at Novo União, and they're not well known for keeping fighters safe.
Yeah. That's disappointing. I'd rather see Rocky match up with her or somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Juliana finally came back, so there's that too.
Yeah, I mean, she could have just really gotten hurt. As we were talking about earlier with Tim Elliott, like it happens sometimes. But yeah, it's definitely weird. Definitely weird. Yeah, I think Holm and Vieira, yeah, that'd be great because it's like, well, it makes sense. But this is, yeah. I mean, you gotta take fights when you see them, when you get them at this point now, I guess, of your Holly.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's still ranked number 2. These.
Holly?
Well, Caitlyn just.
Okay, then. Yeah, they need to take her off because it's like, especially if you don't have a fight. If she was hurt and they have a fight and she has a fight coming up, I would understand.
Yeah.
But there's not a word about her, or unless she's again serving some kind of USADA stuff. We never know.
Yeah, just the way these guys like put together these rankings anyway. I'm surprised they didn't pull her or either like put her down more because she's not active.
Yep. One more fight. Well, a few more fights, but one of the fights is Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no. We did talk about Tim Elliott earlier.
Yeah.
With DJ, but yeah, he's back. This is what we were just saying right now. Tim Elliott is now back. He's gonna fight Davison Figueiredo. Seems like they're scheduled for the San Francisco card, October 12th. Actually, I keep saying that there's reports that it might be in San Francisco, so who knows if they're gonna get cold feet and they're gonna reschedule it somewhere else. But that's a whole other thing entirely. But yeah, Tim Elliott finally back. He's had like a severe knee injury from what I saw, and man, they did not give him an easy fight back.
Hell no. And he's going back down because he was at 135.
Yeah, he's going full Mackenzie Dern.
Damn, dude, it's so crazy. I mean, it's good to finally have him back. Cause I was wondering about that guy too. I'm like, where has he been?
Yeah, that guy didn't seem like he got the credit he deserved sometimes. Yeah.
Bro, that's good though. I mean, if they do make this happen,
Yeah.
Frisco card, that should be big.
Yeah, if it's going how it's going, it should be a pretty stacked card. Next fight, Zabit Magomed Sharipov. He's back. He's scheduled to take on Calvin Kattar at the UFC Boston card and scheduled to be the co-main event. This fight is gonna be bananas, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I've liked Calvin Kattar basically since his debut. I mean, he debuted here at the Honda Center on that DC Jones card. That was the first time I seen him, and I liked him then, and I've liked him more and more every fight. But was the beat, and then Calvin was calling for a fight here. I don't know if he called for Zabit, but I knew he wouldn't turn it down. But if he did call for Zabit, shit, even crazier.
Yeah, dude, he looked really good in his last fight too. Yeah, this will be crazy. Who's the main on this one?
That's supposed to be, I think we talked about it last week, Chris Weidman and Reyes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but remember, Calvin's a Boston boy, so.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Town crowd. Yeah. Another fight. This is probably the biggest fight announced this week. Johnny Walker and Corey Anderson looks about all but signed for UFC 244 MSG November 2nd. I mean, this is for sure Johnny Walker's biggest test, and I don't know. I mean, do you think the winner gets a title shot, or do you think Johnny Walker gets a title shot, or do you think Corey Anderson gets a title shot, or do you think they both need more fights?
I think it's funny to me that he's getting he's getting a fight, Corey Anderson. Because didn't Dana just talk shit about him, about how he's turned down like 50 fights?
He could have. I might have missed that.
Yeah, because I guess he was like, he's trolling Jones and trying to get that title shot, but Dana's like, oh hell no, dude. You turned down like 50 fights, and then here we are. It's like a week later, I think, 2 weeks later, something like that. This fight is announced. Interesting. So I wonder if this is going to be the fight. We'll see. Jones either fights Walker or Anderson.
Yeah, this should be. It's gonna be hard to know. I don't know. I feel like this is like a number one contenders match, but then again, John Jones wants to keep active, so it very well could be. But Johnny Walker's still kind of young as far as his UFC stuff, and then Corey Anderson's kind of boring, and he's had his shit talking with Jones. I don't know. I think it's fully dependent. I mean, if Johnny Walker knocks him out in a minute, I think everyone's gonna be saying he should fight Jones. If Corey Anderson decisions him, I think it's wait and see.
Yeah,
I think so.
Jones has cleaned out pretty much the division, so
yeah,
it's got to be either or.
Yeah,
they got to put up something, unless Unless
Yeah,
Jones goes heavyweight.
if Jones is really trying to keep active, he can't really be choosy. You want to be active, you got to fight who's available.
Hmm.
So yeah, good point. And two more fights. These were last minute fights. They were just uh, announced a few moments before we started the show. Yana Kunitskaya is scheduled to take on Aspen Ladd, and Claudia Gadelha is scheduled to take on Cynthia Calvillo. Both are supposed to be taking place on December 2nd. It's an ESPN card, and it's taking place in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Two women's fights, two different divisions, two, I think, exciting fights. So first of all, Yana and Ladd's reign, what you think there?
That's interesting. See, I was just thinking, like, why don't they should have put Aspen against Holly, because that's the fight they were trying to originally make. Anyways.
True, especially that they're both coming off losses. It would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
But maybe they think Ladd might lose that, and then she's gonna go way back in the line. That's my only thinking.
Yeah, that's true. And it won't really make sense for Rocky to fight Yana, because that's just going backwards. But it would have been good for Yana.
Yeah.
It's so strange, man.
Yeah. And then Gadelha Calvillo. Always a word about Gadelha, right?
Dude, Gadelha actually turned down Calvillo originally. That's why she fought Ronda.
Yeah, I remember that. And then we got to remember Calvillo just left Alpha Male.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where she went or what she's doing, but I know that her last fight was the last fight was her last fight with Alpha Male.
Yeah, so here we are finally. Good, I want to see it.
I can only imagine who you're going for. For the Sacramento girl, right? Just for the hometown. Yeah.
Of course. Gotta go with NorCal.
Yeah. Yeah. Figures. Yeah. That does it for fight stuff. We're at the tail end of the show, so let's get into our news story. Headline is, University professor says, men don't recycle because they don't want people thinking they're gay. So it's 2019 and apparently men are still hooked on this thing of they don't want to do weird shit because they think they might look kind of girly. And or gay, apparently.
Men don't care about the environment. Is that true? Is that true, people? Is that true, guys? You guys don't care about the environment?
I mean, if all the stereotypes are true, that we like loud cars and big trucks and, just fucking throw our beer on the side of the road type shit, then yeah, that would definitely be the case. But I think those would just be old stereotypes that you see in movies and TV and shit, but I guess there may be some truth to it.
Let me ask you something. Do you save, like, shopping bags? Do you guys have, like, a drawer full?
My mom does, and I mean, I do go shopping, so I usually, when I go, I try to do a thing of keeping at least like a bag in my car, at least a bag or two just in case, and then for the most part, I tend to throw them in the kitchen somewhere. My mom uses them more than me, so it's like someone's gonna use them. But yeah, no, I don't throw away the bags.
Okay. See, you recycle. That's a form of recycling.
And I'll be honest, this is gonna sound, not very manly of me, but like honestly, going to Trader Joe's sometimes they have some cool bags, even though those like $2, $3 reusable ones, the canvas ones.
Yeah.
I buy some even if I don't need them. Because I'm like, my mom likes them or my sister likes them. I'm like, hey, even if I don't think I'll need them, sometimes I'll just put them in my closet. Like if I'm going on a trip, if I need to pack some clothes or whatever, those are good for that. So yeah. I don't give a shit. I'm about to be 30 years old and. Man, I'm done caring about what especially men think of me. If a girl thinks I'm gay, fuck it. I don't care. I know I'm not. She's not going to fuck me anyway. I don't care. But I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't want this dude to see me do some kind of gay shit. Yeah, so gay to care about the planet you live on.
See, that's what we do, too. Like, we keep those shopping bags, and there's like a drawer full of them. And I always thought that was just an Asian thing, but
no, it's immigrant mentality, man. It's the outsider shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I
So
think I don't know if I've told you, but like there's plenty of things. Obviously, we think we've said on the podcast. My girlfriend's a bit older than me, but there's some things that she's noticed or some things she's told that I've told her. I'm like, oh yeah, Mexicans do this, and she just looks at me like, so what? Like, what's the big deal? Like I did that too. It's just more of an old school thing. I think like people grew up a certain way and they did things, and like my house and a lot of Mexican houses, we put pots and pans in the oven
yep.
as storage. Okay, see, you do it too. And I told my lady about that. She went in the oven once for whatever reason. She's like, "Oh, there's pots and pans." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mexicans do that." So I know. My parents used to do that too.
Yeah.
I think it's just an old school thing that we don't grow out of.
Yeah. Dishwasher. My mom uses that as storage.
Yeah.
She does everything by hand. But yeah, man, this study is kind of crazy. Like 960 participants, male and female, to evaluate whether fictional characters felt feminine or masculine based on a series of environmental friendly activities. I wonder if they had any Asians. Are they all white people?
It doesn't no, it doesn't say anything about where they're from, and that could have something to do with it. People living in the city, people living out in like rural areas, people living out in like I do wonder like people in like Tennessee, they're probably more hardcore about this than someone in like San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you gotta have a wide scope here, but I don't
Yeah.
know. This took place in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania University. So yeah, who knows if they just did it around there? But
It's so
that
stupid.
I know you like manly men, Reen. So it's refreshing to hear like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with recycling. You're not one of those like, yeah, I recycle, but my man better not recycle because that's fucking gay. That's fucked up.
Yeah. No.
But I'm sure there's people out there. I mean, I bet you it's not just guys. I'm sure there are women that probably do think that. I'm sure it's not a lot of them, but I'm sure they're out there.
God, they're stupid.
It happens. I love the last line of it. They go after over the whole data. We'll post it as usual. Have a link, but they go over all the data, and this is the last line of the article. So there you have it. Masculinity, homophobia, and the desire to be a heterosexual might actually be contributing to the destruction of the planet.
Oh, Jesus.
We just read a thing earlier that the UN found that there might be a food shortage in the next couple of years because of climate change and shit. So yeah, we'll see how gay it is then.
Y'all better recycle now, man.
I'm starving, but at least I ain't gay. Jesus.
Oh my God, it's crazy. I wonder how much it costs to do this study, but yeah.
Yeah, then get into specifics of that because then everybody gets mad. But yeah, point. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us tonight. I want to thank you guys for listening. You can follow me at juice_MMA on Twitter and Instagram. Reen, where can they find you?
Fox with you at Instagram and Twitter.
And you can follow the podcast account at iFoxWithJuice on Twitter and Instagram. I got an email today. It looks like I have joined Combat Press. I usually wouldn't announce anything like that because I want to write something first, and I do. But it's a way to get myself motivated. Once you guys hear me say it, once it's on the internet forever, I have to stick by it. So yeah, I'm on Combat Press now. So I don't know how often I'll be contributing, hopefully on a weekly basis, but keep an eye on social media, on the website. You should be able to see my work pretty soon. And I'm attending UFC 241 next week. We'll go into more detail next week about what I might be doing there. But yeah, I just want to make that little announcement. Any last? Yeah, thank you. Any last words, Reen?
No, that's it. And make sure you write.
I'm
putting you on the spot.
No, you should, because it's actually somewhere I've been wanting to go for a while. So shout out to those guys, and thank you. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us one last time, and we'll catch you guys next week. Later.
Bye. Recycle, bitches.